Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to A Drink of Crazy. What's going on, everybody? Well, everybody didn't show up right now. That's okay. That's okay. Give people some time to funnel in. Oh, good Lord. Guys, it has been a freaking crazy week. The headline of the week is the online censorship that's going on, and I have not dug into all of that enough to be able to talk about it. But I found some other articles and some interesting video I came across today from Luke Stevens' Clips channel about Mafia: The Old Country and its price point, which is really interesting because it's kind of the inverse of what we've been talking about. In addition to that, the PlayStation quarter 2 top 10 is absolutely freaking hilarious just with the games that are on it, and it's so freaking funny. So oh, excuse me. Oh, without any further ado, let's get into what exactly is going on over in the world of PlayStation. All right, so this is so freaking... 6 of PlayStation's 10 U.S. biggest selling games in quarter 2 of 2025 were published by Microsoft. This is hilarious. And it's hilarious in the ironic way because, and this comes from gamesindustry.biz. And what's so funny about this is that, and I heard somebody say this earlier today, 10 years ago, you never would have thought Microsoft games would be the top sellers on PlayStation. And then also PlayStation is actually working to roll out their multi-platform thing because apparently people don't really care. I think they're starting to discover that games on an exclusive platform aren't going to be really console sellers. And I think we're starting to see the day where consoles... they may still exist, they'll always exist, but they're not going to exist in the same way that we grew up with them, with the console wars and so on and so forth. I mean, the battle between, what was it, Xbox and PlayStation 2, and then the 360 and the PlayStation 3 era, those battles are gone, far gone. What's going on, Wyatt Hilbert? How you doing, buddy? And I think that... I think that what we're seeing right now is a realization that gamers don't really care to want to have to go out and buy their games and then buy a console to play those games. They just want to play them. And they are willing to wait for that game to get released on PC or the other consoles or however that happens. So let's get into this because this is great. I love this. Only Bandai Namco's Elden Ring Night Rain in the top spot prevents all top 3 places from being dominated by Microsoft titles. So moving forward here, Vicky Blake from, again, gamesindustry.biz says six of the 10 best-selling games on PlayStation from April 6th to July 5th, 2025 were published by Microsoft. In data shared by Circana. Circana is a fantastic place to go see what the industry is actually up to and to see exactly what's going on with gaming. I actually really love it. A lot of the Circana reports are actually really interesting. The executive director in video games analysis, Matt Piscatella, ranked by dollar sales and including physical sales and digital from participating publishers, Microsoft's Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, Minecraft, Doom the Dark Ages, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remaster, and Forza Horizon 5 take 9th, 8th, 6th, 5th, 3rd, and 2nd place on the top 10, respectively. Only Bandai Namco's, God, I cannot speak tonight, Elden Ring Night Rain in the top spot prevents all 3 top places from being dominated by Microsoft titles. This is interesting. On Xbox, Microsoft similarly published 4 of the top 10 games, although Take-Two comes in close with 3 games from 2K25 Sports Series, which is WWE 2K25, NBA 2K25, and PGA Tour 2K25. Bandai's Elden Ring Night Reign was overall the best seller on Microsoft platforms once again, however. So this is the list right here. This is the top 10 list of Q2 2025 for PlayStation. And a couple of games here surprised me. So Elden Ring Night Reign. It kind of makes sense. I mean, I'm not a big Elden Ring guy, but I can't deny the absolute powerhouse that anything coming from Soft has in the industry. Forza Horizon 5, The Elder Scrolls Oblivion 4 Remastered. That sold incredibly well. MLB The Show, Call of Duty Black Ops 6, Doom The Dark Ages, okay, Death Stranding, not Microsoft, Indiana Jones, Microsoft, Minecraft, Microsoft, and the one that really surprised me, Assassin's Creed Shadows was still selling well enough in Q2 of 2025. I remember a lot of people saying that, well, Assassin's Creed Shadows didn't sell well, and that's what happened with all the Ubisoft stuff. No, that's actually not. It's that Ubisoft was so mismanaged for so long. There was no way they were going to get out of where they were with their finances. They were always going to do what they were going to do, and the sad part is there's a lot of content creators out there that would just tell you, oh, Assassin's Creed Shadows was bad because they were trying to pander to a lot of like culture war stuff and things like that. And when you kind of step back from all that and you look at the business, you realize Assassin's Creed is one of those games that it's just going to sell regardless. And especially when you put pretty visuals in front of people and the game doesn't play like total crap, a lot of people will just put up with a mediocre story. That surprised me that Assassin's Creed Shadows was up there, and I'm starting to break my preconceived notions of a lot of this stuff. And the top 10 best-selling games on Microsoft platforms, Elden Ring Night Reign, Elder Scrolls, obviously, the Oblivion remaster, the Elder Scrolls Online, Minecraft, NBA 2K25, WWE 2K25, Assassin's Creed Shadows, again, is selling well in Q2. I had preconceived notions that game was going to crash and burn really, really hard, especially because if you go back in time, the amount of botched marketing that was happening around Assassin's Creed Shadows was atrocious. It was absolutely freaking terrible. And I found it quite interesting that, again, my preconceived notions of that game actually like failing. And I don't believe Assassin's Creed Shadows obviously sold so much that it was going to save Ubisoft from their fate of, over a decade of mismanagement. But apparently Assassin's Creed Shadows is still selling incredibly well. So, obviously on Microsoft PGA Tour 2K25, Call of Duty Black Ops, which that makes sense, and Split Fiction. Interesting. And then obviously the Nintendo platform. Look at that. Minecraft is up here at number 5. That's a Microsoft-owned property. We've got Cyberpunk over here. A lot of people really love that. Funny enough, Hogwarts Legacy still made the top 10 for the Nintendo Switch. That game has been out for a while. I will say this. I am not a Harry Potter fan. The movies are all right. Half-Blood Prince absolutely sucked. That wasn't even a good movie. I like the movies, but I wasn't a part of the Harry Potter craze when I was younger. And to see that Hogwarts Legacy is still selling on one of the consoles in the top 10 is insane to me. There are people out there that I know that love Hogwarts Legacy, and they think that it was definitely a runner-up for Game of the Year when it released. I highly disagreed. I played it. I don't know. I got a third or a halfway through it, and I got sick of it. I was like, this is dumb. This game it doesn't offer. It's a great walking simulator if you're a fan for Harry Potter and you want to walk through the world of like Hogwarts and all that, or just specifically walk through the castle. I didn't want that. I thought this was going to be some great adventure game, that I could go out. No, it was not. And so I think it's really interesting to see that the day and age of the console exclusivity is probably fast approaching its end. Console exclusivity may still hold out where they do 6-month exclusivity, 1-year exclusivity, just depending on how much money that they think they can get. But overall, I think the industry is starting to realize gamers are going to wait until it's on the console or the platform of their choosing. They're not going to be going out there spending, what's going on, Mage Leader? They're not going to be going out and spending all kinds of money on games and then going out and buying a console. I didn't summon you. Actually, if you guys would do me a favor, share the stream over on wherever you would share the stream and let everybody know that I am live, because I'm not on X anymore, which I don't know if that ever actually mattered to the streams, but share. But yeah, it's really interesting to see how console exclusivity is actually going away right now, and it's something that is really nice, because I was worried there for a long time that with Microsoft buying up all these studios, they were going to hold exclusivity rights over on Game Pass. I don't like Game Pass. I don't think Game Pass is a viable business strategy. There's rumblings in the industry that it's not. And I think it ultimately will start to devalue games over the course of time, because good on Game Pass is somewhat of a slur in the industry right now. Good on Game Pass means, well, I'm not going to pay full price for that. I'm not going to pay the price of admission for that game because, let's face it, it's only good on Game Pass. And again, that's one of those things that, like Doom the Dark Ages apparently also sold very, very well on PlayStations as well. I was confused because Doom the Dark Ages didn't seem to hit the numbers on Steam that would correlate to like high numbers over on Game Pass. But again, we're seeing here over on PlayStation, Doom the Dark Ages actually did fairly well, claiming, you know, the 6th spot in quarter 2 of 2025. So where does this all go? Well, I think we're going to start seeing more game companies release on multiple platforms day one, which is just good for everybody. And also, it doesn't tie people down to a specific company's model. It doesn't tie you down to the Steam. Doom did well on PlayStation because they have nothing else to play. Legitimately, dude, I don't know what PlayStation has released almost nothing in this generation. And I was listening to a live stream, it was either yesterday or today, and they were saying, they're like, it's so weird because we're almost at the end of this console generation. This console generation launched in like, what is it, 2019, 2020? Dude, we're like 6 years into this, and most console generations recently, about 7 years or so, and then it's a new console generation. We're going to start seeing the next advertising for the new consoles here in about a year or two. And what games have a lot of the, I mean, yes, there have been a couple of bangers here and there, but if you go back and you look at the PlayStation 4, holy crap, the amount of games that came out. Go back even further, go into the PS3, Xbox 360. Dude, it was just banger after banger after banger. I think in 2008 alone, there were so many games out there that are considered all-timers, just games that will never die. And through about 2012, we had a 4-year period where, I mean, AAA gaming really seemed like it was just on top of the world, and it was never going to die. So game budgets are so bloated now that the companies can only make 1 or 2 every few years. And I think that's a problem with team management size and all that. That's really where it comes down to, is when you look at a lot of the games that we grew up with, the turnaround times on those games were 2, maybe 3 years at most, and they were usually smaller teams. And that being said, you had smaller teams, less middle management, able to get stuff done quicker. If you had a question about something, you talked to the boss because the boss was in the cubicle two over from you, or however that worked. Or oftentimes the bosses were on the dev floors walking around talking with everybody and approving things like that. Nowadays, you get these dev teams that are 500, 600, 700. I've heard even over 1,000 for some. And it really just goes to show that more people working on the games doesn't actually help. And it's interesting that it took the industry this long to figure that out. It's just because you have more people working on something doesn't necessarily mean that productivity is going to go up. Productivity goes up when you have small, dedicated groups of people working on the tasks, and the tasks that they work on, they're very good at. And then they're able to actually just skyrocket the production. But sadly, most of the AAA companies are overbloated because they serve the shareholders. And shareholders go, well, we're putting all our money into this. What are you doing? Where is our money going? And when it takes 5 years for a game to come out, I think a lot of these managers go, well, crap, we got to show the shareholders what we're doing with their money. So just hire a bunch of people. And I genuinely think that that's one of the biggest problems with AAA gaming today, is that they're no longer beholden to the customers, the gamers, the people who actually care to buy their products. And they are constantly not, they are not in any way beholden to putting out good products. Jake Hudson over on Kick. Are you a bot like the bots from the other day? Because if you're a bot, Kick has a lot of bots. It's so funny. And they come in and they're like, no, I'm not a bot. And they're like, do you want to make 30% on the blah, 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 blah? And I'm like, no, shut up. Go away, bot. The ones the other day got, yeah. I just delete that stuff. So, Jake, if you're going to try to offer me or sell me something while I'm on a live stream, dude, go away. But if you're not, if you're just here to chill, we're here to chill. So, I just thought it was really interesting that where we are seeing signs that Microsoft's multi-platform deal is working out well for them. Game Pass we have yet to see. We don't really talk about Microsoft as a company anymore. We're always talking, or I'm sorry, Xbox as a company anymore. We're always talking about Microsoft as a company. And so I'm wondering how much longer Xbox as the brand is going to be around outside of just being Game Pass. And that's going to be very, very interesting to see. So I think console exclusivity is actually coming to its end. And it's going to be very fun. There's some good news, though. Heavy Gear 3 got announced yesterday. New game for the first since the 1990s. Dude, I've never even heard of Heavy Gear. I've never even heard of Heavy Gear. You guys be like, Team Bloat seemed to start in 2012. It took until 2016 before we started seeing the results. Now we're near a decade, and AAA has only gotten worse. Yeah, and that's, again, it's because they're beholden to the shareholders. Shareholders like, well, I paid all this money. How come we're not seeing any company growth? And they're like, well, all right, just hire a bunch of people. Make the shareholders shut up. And honestly, I think that, like, I wish that we could get to a point where game development was not publicly traded. I don't want game companies publicly traded. I want them privately owned. I want them to hit numbers that they can sustain themselves with, and then call it good. Heavy Gear is a Canadian made typical game. Come on, really good. Mech Sims games. Oh, okay. There you go. I never was super big into mech sims. I don't know. I was never super big into mechs. It's just me. Like, all the stuff that I should be into as a millennial, I'm just not, and I don't know. I'm a strange individual. But one of the things I want to show you guys here, and I'll shoot this down in the link below. But this is a Luke Stevens Clips channel. Luke Stevens, he's pretty good. I've had one issue with one of his reviews where I think he was hiding his real opinions, but at the time, I don't know. But outside of that, I like this guy. But Mafia: The Old Country.
So my primary concern for Mafia.
Stop it. I don't know why it plays. You make it full screen and it's like, we're just gonna play it, blasting levels. So, oh, I have the chat in the way. How I can't have the chat in the way. That doesn't look good. We're gonna move the chat over here. All right, there we go. It's okay. I will convert you the ways of BattleTech one day. You will learn the giant robots are the goat. I've tried. It is what it is. I've tried. All right, here we go. This is interesting. Mafia: The Old Country. I've actually been wanting to check out the Mafia games for quite a long time, and yeah, just money gets in the way. But I want to see, because they're offering Mafia: The Old Country at like $50, and it's really, really insane. So
my primary concern for Mafia: The Old Country has been length, girth, dare I say, and it's because, you know, the game's priced at $50. They haven't shown a whole lot of it. They've done in the last week or two a lot more marketing with it, showcasing a lot of gameplay and some uncut segments.
That's what I've heard, Major League.
You know, there's a sneaking suspicion that maybe the game is really short, that it's $50 because it's only been in production for like 2.5, 3 years in full capacity. And so it might just be like a pretty short thing. So I think it's a valid concern. Honestly. But I mean, look at this. Reported by...
I mean, realistically... Space Marine 2 was a short game as well, and I still haven't beat it yet. My buddy and I, we were playing it together, and our schedules never lined up. We're about 2/3 of the way through it, but I mean, that game was offered at $60. It was a fairly short game, 10 to 12 hours, but I think I think the value judgment there was that, well, wait a minute, it's an affordable price. It's, well, which $60 I still think is too much for video games. Like, I mean, $50 is a threshold for me personally. You go over $50 for a video game, I'm kind of wondering, like, all right, this game better change my life. And if this game doesn't change my life, then you really need to step it up in a different way.
Josh Chali's over on Insider Gaming. Mafia: The Old Country dev says the game isn't short just because it's only $50. They say Mafia: The Old Country developers insist the game's length isn't short, despite some players assuming it is due to the $50 price point. So what they said specifically was, speaking to IGN, Hangar 13 president Nick Baines insisted players won't be disappointed by the length of the game with, quote, all the depth you'd expect in terms of dialogue and world that has been created. He added that, quote, no one needs to be concerned about the quality of the game or it being super short.
So that's really interesting because, like, as an adult, I'm kind of like, okay, a $50 game, I'm expecting... like a story that's maybe 10, 12 hours long, give or take. The idea that we need to have these 100-hour long, like, massive experiences all the time is like, dude, 100 hours that's 100 hours of a video game is 2 weeks worth of work for me. It's 2 weeks worth of work for me. You want me to dedicate 2 weeks worth of work into a game? I mean, I got other stuff to do. I got 4 kids. I got yard work. I built 2 smokers. I like to cook food on the weekends and have people over. I got friends that need help with things going on the weekends, right? Like, I got adult stuff to do. I mean, people saying that $50 is a detriment because, oh, the game might not be long enough. I mean, I'm going to be really honest with you, man. In my 30s, I don't need very long games. I need enjoyable, high entertainment value games that also respect my time. And I think a $50 price point is very good for that.
Baines did not reveal exactly what the average completion time for Mafia: The Old Country will be. He told players to expect Mafia 1, Mafia 2 style experience and predicted that everyone's going to be super happy. The first 2 games in the series clocked in around 10 to 14 hours of completion time, so the comments suggest there could be a similar length of time. It certainly doesn't have to be a huge endeavor, that, like I said, like the 50-ish hours it took to complete Mafia 3. Now, this particular claim that it's roughly in line with Mafia 2, Mafia 1 style experience makes me think, okay, they might be shooting for that 12-hour mark, which I think is a good timeline to land at. I think that would be a good spot.
See, and I agree with him. I think that $50 for a short, like, I am definitely at the point in my life where I'm just like, can we get back to like 90-minute movies? Can going to see a movie not take up my entire day? And that's kind of how I feel about a game. It's like, Can playing a game not, like, consume multiple months of my life? You know, just to beat, classic Call of Duty campaigns were fairly short, and I got back and replay all of them in time. Yeah. With you, Royce, I got more stuff to do. If I want Skyrim, I'll play Skyrim. And I think that that's the thing, is a lot of these companies really wanted to shoot for some version of like player retention rate, especially like with Game Pass. Supposedly, they pay people based off of like playtime and stuff like that. But I mean, realistically, a lot of like, I don't think that most gamers are mono gamers. Like, I am definitely not the type of, like, I beat the main story of Expedition 33. I still have not beaten the final boss, but I beat the main story. I know how it goes. Do I really need the gamer clout to be like, oh, I gotta go and beat the final boss, the Simon guy? And I'm like, no, I don't need that gamer clout because I just don't care. That being said, so glad my buddy bought that for me. He bought it for me for $45, and I absolutely got that value out of that game. Like, so grateful that I played that game because it was fantastic for a $45 price point. Otherwise, I'll just want something I can play in an afternoon. Yeah, and there's like, you know, I like the 100-hour like sprawling games where it's just like forever. Like, I want to pay less for those, right? Because I'm like, okay, I don't want to pay. If you give me a 12-hour, like, and I've always said this, like 12 to 20 hours. 12 to 20 hours is perfect. Give me a 12-hour, and then maybe some side stuff if I really want to extend the game length time, right? 12 to 20 hours is perfect. It gives me a goal. I can beat the story in 12 to 20 hours. It doesn't consume my life. It's high entertainment value, you know, for me. And I absolutely think that is like my perfect thing. I would be more willing to pay more money out of the gate for that than like the 100-hour experience or the 200-hour experience, because it's like, okay, and the multiple 100-hour experience, that's just something I can go back and just like dead brain to. And like, I remember the marketing for like Path of Exile 2. They're like, this is definitely not a second monitor game. Path of Exile 2, absolutely a second monitor game, by the way. Still very fun. I clocked in like almost 300 hours in that game because it was very cold outside. Mage Leader for $5 says, I got a raise today. Now, so have you. Hey, man. Congratulations on the raise, and thank you so much for the $5, dude. Congrats, man. I appreciate you, dude. Thank you so much. But yeah, I feel like I'm more willing to I really feel like the games that I enjoy are that 12 to 20 hours, that single player 12 to 20 hour experience that's just really fun. I did, my buddy had me play, and like I say that I took a break from gaming from like 2008 to like 2019 realistically, because I was just out of the loop, but my buddy brought up some stuff for us to play. Really, I think that Uncharted fills that niche of like 12 to 20 hours really well. If you're just going for like the story, you're not playing on like super hardcore mode. You don't need to do all of the achievements. Freaking love Ghost of Tsushima. Still one of my favorite games to this day. Absolutely awesome game to play. The old God of War games. Haven't played the new ones. Don't know. I actually, funny enough, my buddy still gives me crap to this day. Okay, story time, children. My buddy still gives me crap to this day because I was literally walking out of Hades and I had to go to bed that night. And all I had to do was climb up the rope and go fight Ares, the final boss of God of War 1, right? And I was like, all right, I'll pick this up tomorrow. Never did. You know why I never did? Because I beat the actual boss of that game, and that was the Spinning Blade Towers. I figured out how to get past the Spinning Blade Towers in like 20 minutes. My wife was playing on a different save on the PlayStation 2, because we still have the PlayStation 2 upstairs, and she couldn't get past the Spinning Blade Towers. My buddy was over trying to help her, keeps getting knocked down, and I was like, I can get past it. I figured out the trick. And my buddy gets real cocky, because he's like the gamer, dude. He beats everything on hardcore mode. He gets all of the trophies, everything. His logic is super great. He's like, dude, I spent anywhere between $50 to $70 on this. I'm getting my time out of this game. All right. He couldn't get, dude, there are games that he does on hard mode that I'm just like, no, daddy, don't play that. He's struggling on the spinning towers. And I'm like, I'll get past it for you. I'm like, I figured out how to get past it. He's like, fine, you do it. Hands me the controller. Cocky like real cocky like. Go over to the spinning towers, watch him for a second, hop right up those damn things. Because I figured out the trick, and he was just like, oh, fuck you. There's a second set of spinning towers, by the way. I handed him the controller. I was like, you do it now. And they're like, no. No, you do it. We've been here for like 45 minutes, and you didn't 10 seconds. So that's why I never beat the God of War games, because in my mind, the one thing that everybody complains about in that game is the spinning towers. That's the hardest obstacle to get by. I figured out how to conquer it. No need to fight Ares. No need to fight Ares. That's my logic. I genuinely miss short single-player games. One of the reasons I keep my 360 around is because of how many it has. Yeah, I agree. Hell, I'll still play Link to the Past if I want something quick and enjoyable. Yeah, a lot of those older games. Dude, exactly. The 100-hour experience needs to die. Because, not die, but like, not be such a pinpoint focus for the industry. All right, let's go back over, hear what Luke has to say.
If it's 12 hours long, though, I don't know why they wouldn't just say it, you know? Like, it might be one of those situations where it's like, oh, it's like 12, 13 hours
I've never played Bayonetta.
Are kind of bad at combat and die a lot and have to redo sections. But
I didn't play with Barbie dolls when I was a boy. I don't play with female characters as a man. That's not how my brain functions. Although I highly respect the guy who created Bayonetta, because that's the same guy, Hideaki Kamiya, who created Devil May Cry. He's the guy that made Devil May Cry. And everybody forgets that. He is doing Onimusha 2 that's coming out, that was announced, right? Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like 9 to 10 hours. I think that's more likely. I don't think it's... I think if it's below 10, we start to get to the realm where a lot of people will probably scoff and wait for like a deep sale before playing it. If they can get to like that 12-hour mark, I think that's a reasonable point for $50. I think that a lot of, especially Mafia fans, can play with it and dig into it there. But I think you got to get above 10. You know, 10 is a nice square number. People like 10. It's round, solid, reliable. I think if you're below 10, even if your game is like, you know, $50, I think people still think that that's just too much. You know, if you start going down to like 30, 40, then I think people are more understanding, but I think you got to get above that point.
So here, and this is my problem, is that the industry is trying to push $80 games right now, when just a few years ago, $50 was the norm. Wait, was it a few years ago? I don't remember. When did they jump it up to $60? That was a while ago, right? But anyway, now we're like, oh, $50 game, warning signs. With everything that's exploding on screen in Bayonetta, you're playing as a blur more so than a woman. You'll be fine. I don't play as chick characters. Like, one of my favorite games of all time is Ghost of Tsushima. I absolutely love the messaging of like honor and family and all that stuff. It just I don't know, it just resonated with me. I just really like the writing in that game. It's not the greatest writing of all time, doesn't matter, resonated with me, hit me. I have only ever played as a female character in one game, and that was KOTOR 2, and it was because they literally gender locked one of the side characters, and I was on a mission to make all of the characters Jedi. And you had to play like a light side female in order to get this guy. He was not the architect, the archaeologist that you found on Dantooine. And I got him as a Jedi, and then I never finished that playthrough because I can't, like I said, I didn't play with Barbie dolls as a boy. I don't play with female characters as an adult. It's actually, like, I talk about being slightly interested in, like, Ghost of Yote, but the hurdle, like, that game is going to have to be so unbelievably good, it overwrites that part of my brain. Yeah, a lot of people don't get it. Dude, I am not comfortable playing as a female character in a game. I'm just not. It's just not. No. I don't do that. So, but again, going back to... and here's the thing, is like, I really respect the guy who made the games, but it's just not, I don't know. And a lot of people, it's funny, my oldest, my 13-year-old, she's the same way. She doesn't really like playing as male characters in games either. she does like more of the female-led character games. And so maybe Bayonetta is a game that I would get for her that she could check out. Or, you know, maybe the old, like the Tomb Raider games. Or I don't know if she's played... the first Horizon game was very good. My wife played that. I sat there and I watched her play it, and I was like, wow, this is a really cool story. I just cannot get... Yeah. It's not a bonkers reason, dude. It's... No. What do you mean it's a bonkers reason? No, it's not. You're dumb. Yeah, and there are people that just like my buddy and I were trying to think. We're like, okay, like of the games that are like all-timers, the games that are everyone has their own taste, play what you enjoy. Yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. And I still have to finish my playthrough of Mass Effect. It's my problem is the weather is so nice outside. It's hard to get me inside. $60 for big titles, but smaller titles were $40 up until 2018. Now most even smaller titles are $60. That's ridiculous. It's like, yo, check this out, epic song out, and your buddy goes, nah, I don't listen to songs in D minor. No, it's more like, I can't get into female vocalists. That would be the more apt, like, use an actual apt, like thing here. It's like, there are genres of music that I do not like female vocalists in. I'm like, no, I'm good. You just, you know. Not saying that there aren't good ones out there, and I don't downplay them, and I do not say that they're not good games. That's just not my thing. No, it's not. If I don't like it, it's not bad. I do not like it, and that's the only reason that I need. I don't like it. I'm not gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna fucking play as a female character in a game. I don't like that shit. So you can't listen to Evanescence. I listened to one song from Evanescence, and it's Bring Me to Life, and that's because the male vocals in that fucking go hard. My daughter, however, loves Evanescence. Now, me specifically, I don't actually have a problem with them doing... You big gay and you smell funny. Possibly, I don't know. I don't actually have a problem with a lot of female vocalists in like rock bands generally. Some of them are just I can't do the voices. But yeah, for music wise, no. But like I said, I don't have, like I said, when it comes to video games, I don't run around as I don't run around as chick characters. It's just not how I do it. You know, and it's a lot of people don't understand that. And I'm like, why? They're like, because this is a great game. I'm like, yeah, but I don't play with Barbie dolls. And as a guy, I didn't play with Barbie dolls as a kid. As a boy, I'm not going to, Within Temptation is better. I actually showed my wife Within Temptation. I was actually the person who introduced my wife to that band. Within Temptation. But Within Temptation, they're more operatic rock. They're more, they're not, what do they call Evanet? Nu metal. Within Temptation was not nu metal. And when Within Temptation was starting to gain popularity, they didn't grab it as much in the States at the time because they weren't doing nu metal. They were doing like gothic operatic rock, and that's actually how I found them. I didn't play with Barbie dolls either. I don't know why you implied that the two things are related. I mean, because they are. Because it would be a boy playing with a female character as a toy, and now effectively video games are toys, and it's now a man playing with a female character as man. It's gaming is effectively the modern day toy. So yeah, that's how it relates in my brain. That'd be heavy. So you don't like tomatoes, so you don't eat food with it as an ingredient. Yeah, basically, I love tomatoes though, especially because we're growing some in our garden. Super, super good stuff. You guys got derailed very fast here. This is a very, very interesting conversation. Oh man, my voice is out of it tonight. I'm tired. I need to start drinking an energy drink before I go. I haven't live streamed in a long time. I'm still getting back into the swing of live streaming and trying to survive longer than an hour and a half after work. I used to live stream for like 3 or 4 hours after I get off work, and But yeah, yeah. I think Royce is deeply closeted. I don't know. I guess I've covered it up well. I got 4 kids, you know, big titty metalhead wife. Like, I don't know. Maybe you know something I don't. At work, but I thought I would hop in. It's like, hey, Maji-chan, thank you so much. Like Norm Macdonald. What the fuck? I've never actually listened to any of his comedy. He died, and everybody's like, oh my God, Norman. I didn't even know who he was until he died. I had no clue. I had no idea who Norm Macdonald was until he died. So, yeah, I don't know. I was out of the loop on that one. I pay attention to the things that I pay attention to, and that's where I be. I think it was really funny that the Kick Chat guy came in, and he was like, oh, hey. He was like, hello, how are you doing today? And I was like, dude, if you're here to sell me something, go away. It never said another thing. Look up him talking about being deeply closeted in Larry King. Okay, I will do that. So probably not here because I think the Larry King thing, they copyright strike people for that. So I gotta be careful with what I do. That's what's bad about YouTube is the DMCA system is so bad. So, but no, it's again, like I said, I look at Ghost of Yotei and I'm like, okay, maybe Sucker Punch pulls it off again. I don't know if they're going to. The writers, so the original writing team of that game is no longer there as far as I know, for the original Ghost of Tsushima. And they got writers from BioWare, and a lot of people are like, they got writers from Dragon Age. Actually, if you look at when it all started, Dragon Age was in development hell forever at BioWare. The biggest problem is they worked on Anthem, and then they worked on, oh, come on, Anthem and... Brain! Come on, Brain! Don't do this to me right now! Anthem and that other colossal failure that they had. But anyway, there were writers from 2 of the biggest failures that BioWare had, and then obviously they ended up working on Dragon Age the Veilguard very early on, and then left and went over, and I'm like, and from what I'm seeing of the story of like Ghost of Yotei, yeah, it's not there. The only thing I know Norm from is as the genie in Fairly Odd Parents. Oh, snap. I still prefer to play as man, but I still enjoy playing female characters sometimes. It's just my taste. And that's really all it is. I don't care if you guys play one. I don't care. It's just not my thing. And if people are like, dude, this game is so good. Like, there is a hurdle in my brain that's just like, nah. I'm not saying the games are bad. I'm just saying I don't do that. Why are you surprised Royce has bad taste? I never said that, but go fuck yourself, dude. I don't have bad taste. What the hell's wrong with you? I don't have bad taste. I just choose not to taste certain things. That's not a bad thing. I also, what are you guys gonna judge me because I don't eat fast food anymore? I choose not to shove 17 fucking Big Macs down my throat every day like most Americans? It was bad taste. No, I just don't. I don't do that. Tastes bad. It's not good. It's not good. Anyway. You guys are vicious tonight. You guys are very vicious tonight. I don't know if I like it. Good Lord. In other news, I found this whole situation. What? How did you get me? What do you mean you got me? Over on gamesindustry.biz, this is an old story, but I find this stuff. I only shoved 14 Big Macs down my face. Thank you very much. Dude, when I was younger, and my metabolism was way faster than this, and actually my metabolism's not doing terrible. How dare you not sell your arm and a leg for a Big Mac with a large fry, 10-piece McNugget, and wait 15 minutes to be served your fast food? Yeah, and they still get your order wrong. No, I stopped eating fast food because it was making me sick. Not a good way. I don't ever want to live that life again. I don't ever want to. And here's what's so funny. So my mother, who... I found this so ironic. I was getting sick from a lot of the food that I was eating. To figure out what the hell I was doing, I had to completely like blow up my diet, stop, like figure out, like add foods in. So it took me like 2 years to figure out the stuff that I couldn't eat. Funny enough, highly processed food. So when everybody's like, oh no, that there's nothing wrong with the highly processed food. It's like, then why does a specific amount of the population, and it's a fairly large amount of population if you look at the amount of people who are actually on pills, heartburn pills, diet pills, stomach stuff to help balance that. Why is it, if this stuff isn't bad for you? So I get sick, and the tummy kind of sick, the kind of sick you don't like to describe to people, but the kind of sick that if you say you have that kind of sick, they won't even question you when you call into work. Yeah, the bad kind of sick. Yeah, that kind. So I stop my diet. I'm like, okay, I've got to figure out what's making me sick. I go vegetarian for like 3 months. Because I'm like, and then I start slowly adding in different meats and stuff like that. It's actually when I found this whole process made me realize my 2 favorite meats on the planet are lamb and buffalo, or a bison more specifically. So lamb and bison. So anyway, I explained to my mom, I'm getting sick. I've got like bad acid reflux, all this stuff at 26 years old, which I shouldn't have. My mother, who is hugely anti-vax, hearing that her son I went to a vegetarian diet just to fix some things. Like I don't have a moral issue with eating meat. I've been slaughtering animals since I was a kid. I got no issue. I'm just trying to figure out why I'm shitting my lungs out. And my mother goes, well, why don't you just go to the store and buy Prilosec? Just go buy Prilosec. Just go buy this. I'm like, Mom, how does that make any sense? You think that all vaccines are horrible and evil, and you're telling me to go buy a pill that's made from the same companies? I thought that was funny. I was like, or I could just get control of my diet, figure out what makes me sick, and don't eat the foods that make me sick anymore. Oh, so you drink Busch Light, so I will judge you. Then again, you are in cold Kansas, so I can only judge so much. Dude, it's cheap. I drink cheap beer. I just thought it was so funny. I thought it was so ironic that my mother was like, these pharmaceutical companies, all their vaccines, this, that, and then she's like, well, why don't you just take pills to make... I'm like, what? I was like, Mom, you're not making sense right now. I was like, or I could just figure out what makes me sick and I just don't eat that stuff anymore. And I did. And it turns out, processed food. Yeah. Oh yeah, meat from the store, no good. I can't eat pork products from the store. But if I know a local farmer who slaughters a pig, and then like 3 hours later after that thing is, quartered up, I can put it in my freezer and I can eat pork all day long. But I can't go to the store and buy the same stuff. Tell me how that makes sense. Tell me how it makes sense, chat. It doesn't. Anybody who's telling you that the highly processed stuff, there's nothing wrong with it, they're lying to you. And I know because I've lived it. You're not going to tell me something that I lived doesn't. Well, maybe you have IBS. I'm like, well, maybe I do. Fucking went away when I started eating the right way, though. That's straight up. Your body is weak. That's why. Possibly. A straight up boomer mentality. My mother is a boomer. She was born in 57. So yes, that is a boomer mentality. Yes, I agree. Oh, F and IBM. Yeah, it's, again, like, people will be like, well, oh, dude, and there are sometimes people will get straight up offended. Like, and I have had to figure out exactly how to say stuff, but like, there are sometimes people will get straight up offended if I'm like, I can't eat that, I'm sorry. So I'd be like, no, actually, that gives me bad stomach issues, I can't. I don't go into the full explanation I gave you guys, but dude, it's so weird when people like make something like, yeah, and I'm like, no, can't do it. I can't do it. It's so funny. It's so funny to watch people get offended when you're like, hey, yeah, that thing that you just made makes me sick. Oh, and what do they do? What do they do? Not even just the boomers. People, oh, well, I've got pills. I've got some Tums, so you can eat that. I'm like, no! Or I can just not eat the food that makes me sick. And I can eat the food that doesn't make me. What a what world do we live in where it's like, oh, if I eat that, I'm gonna have heartburn and I'm gonna shit my lungs out and I'm not gonna feel good, but that's okay. I'll just chase it with some pills. How does that make any sense to people? I'm like, no. It's so funny. It's so funny. Thank God beer doesn't make me sick. God, I'd have to give that up and I'd probably die. I think it may be lactose intolerant. I was more bloated, drink them compared the last 2 weeks. I've been drinking my entire life too, just now noticing. Potentially. Do what I did. Cut certain things out of your diet. See how you feel. This is a wonderful allegory for how we force-fed the slop corpo media has made. Yeah, season it heavy with nostalgia to let the cheap crap go down easier. And by cheap crap, I mean the message. I don't even think it's the message, dude. I don't even think it's the message. Yes, that is one part of it. Look at the larger whole, though. Even better media that we consider to be good nowadays has a radical lowering of the actual quality of the writing. And by quality of the writing, I mean the actual intellectual parts behind it. Keep in mind, the people that we want to get rid of the Federal Board of Education because they're not teaching kids properly, but yet we've got like 3 generations of those kids in the work world right now who don't even know how to fucking read, writing all the stuff that we're consuming nowadays. Think about that. Power through it like a champ. Yeah, thank God I'm not lactose intolerant. Most of my diet now is just meat and cheese. That's most of there's some bread in there too because I like my sandwiches. Most pork producers are owned by Tyson, so it's no wonder you can't get store-bought pork. Dude, it's bad, man. It's bad. And dude, it was just so funny. Like when I told my family, like you would have thought that when I told them, hey, I'm just on a vegetarian diet right now, that I literally like renounced God. Like they were, well, it's not immoral to eat animals. I'm like, I know it's not immoral. I don't want to shit my lungs out. Sorry I keep saying that, but that's what was happening. Like, dude, why are you playing Expedition 33 music? Because Expedition 33 music is amazing and it's the only OST that I have downloaded to the computer currently. I will get more OSTs as time goes on. I just have to force myself to come down to the dungeon here and then download more music. But yeah, you would have thought. Then funny enough, because my wife is an amazing cook, my wife makes these awesome. Maybe I'll have her make those. These awesome potato. They're potato street tacos made with like a cilantro lime crema sauce, and then melted cheese over the top of them. And they're just fried potato tacos. So good. Your family sounds more redneck the more you talk about them. You have no idea. I bought the game, but I haven't played it yet. Play the game, Wyatt Hilbert! How does the lungs and the doo-doo interact? They function completely differently. Stop confusing me with your weird biology. Dude, if you've ever been there, you know. The ultimate Saka Patat track is a banger. I'm still full from the breakfast. Dude, that breakfast you should, yeah. To be fair, if I had a vegan child, I'd consider disowning them. I didn't go vegan. I ate vegetarian. I ate eggs and potatoes, and my wife actually figured out this recipe. I like portobello mushrooms. I understand if you're not a mushroom fan, but she figured out how to make like this really badass like corn and black bean like salsa, and you put it in the portobello mushroom, and then you cover it in like spicy enchilada sauce, and then you put guac over the top of it, dude, because again, I needed protein, and I needed healthy proteins and stuff like that, because at the time, I wasn't eating meat because I didn't know what was making me die. Dude, I remember the first time I ate that, I woke up, I was like, what is happening? Also, it's not bad to change your diet, go on a cleanse once in a while. Eggs. Savory in the morning. Dude, I did tons of eggs. Egg burritos. Like I said, eggs and potatoes got me through that. Cheese pizza. And actually now I just like cheese pizza because I can't eat all the garbage that they put on like pepperoni. Although I will sacrifice my body to a pepperoni pineapple jalapeno pizza once in a while. I will do that. I will pay for it, but I will occasionally. I'm like, all right, body, you're gonna die, but this is gonna be really good. So good, dude. Yeah, still able to eat a lot of green chili breakfast burritos, stuff like that. But yeah, dude, it was so funny, man. Just like my brother, because my brother's an elk hunter, dude. When I told my brother, his reaction was worse than my mom's. I was like, no, dude, I'm not eating meat right now. I'm on a vegetarian diet. Dude, you would have thought I punched my brother in the nuts. And it was like genuinely concerned that just for a little bit of time, his little brother wasn't eating meat because I didn't want to die. That's so funny, dude. Oh, and then he said the same thing my mom did. He's like, well, you could just have like Tums or something. I'm like, no, dude. Or I could just stop eating the food that's making me sick. It was so funny. How did we get on this? I don't remember how we got on this. Somebody said something in the chat that reminded me of this, and it was so funny. It was like, yeah, it took me 2 years, and I slowly tested all the foods that I couldn't eat. I even tested all that, like that fake crap that they were like the Impossible Burger, and then the other one that they did. Those made me just as sick as eating the highly processed meat. Yeah, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Because I tested all that. I was like, what can I eat? What can't I eat? Oh, dude, it was bad. So anybody that wants to sit there and tell me that any of that highly processed crap, whether it's vegan highly processed or just regular like meat highly processed, it's all bad for you. It's all fucking bad for you. Find a way to eat clean. Find a way to find people that are growing local vegetables. Find a way to become friends with a farmer. Go out and help kill the animals. Oh no, my brother gonna veg. He must like the dog. Dude, that's that was so close to his reaction. You have no idea. And it, like, oh, the potato street taco things. I meant to tell you guys this. We went over to Easter and I knew what my family was cooking. I couldn't eat it. And so my wife makes potato street tacos, takes them over to the family, cooks them. They are a fan favorite in the family now, and it is still a regular recipe in my brother's house because his wife loved them so much. She's like, oh, they're so quick, easy, because you could throw them together in like, I mean, start to finish. It's like a 25-minute process. You slice up the potatoes, dice them up, throw them in the crock pot or whatever, however you're gonna fry them, whatever you're gonna do. Season them real good. Get that cilantro lime crema sauce going, and then some cheese. Bam, dude, done. This all started because Royce won't play as a female character in games, and then a McDonald's reference came up, and then went off faster than a Saturn V rocket to here. Yeah. So I don't play female characters in games because I didn't play with Barbie dolls when I was a boy, and so yeah, that's just not my jam. Oh. Well, have I not heard about it? Yeah, I'm looking at a recipe for them right now. Yeah, dude, potato street tacos, dude. Fried. You cube them up small, fry them, get them nice and crispy, whatever you want on them. We usually did salt, pepper, garlic, a little bit of, did she do rosemary? On those, you get some fresh cilantro, put it over there, then do a cilantro lime like crema sauce. Oh, dude, I'm telling you. And here's the cool part. You can eat a metric fuck ton of those and not feel bad. Again, watch your proteins though. So I used to do those. I used to put eggs on those too. Like if you're like, man, I just need to go on a cleanse. I just need to watch your protein intake though. And also your salt intake, because when you actually get rid of a lot of the salty, like fatty meats from the stores and stuff that they're making you have, that was one thing that I found out is I didn't replace all my salts and like my electrolytes and stuff. So part of what I do now is actually like the electrolyte water, whether it's a smart water or just off brand, this is water that has salts and electrolytes in it. I actually started drinking one of those every day, because if you're going to just work to get healthier, you've got to monitor how your body's feeling. If your body's telling you something, like, listen to it. I lost my taste for sugar at the time, dude. I can't tell you the last time I had a soda. I cannot tell you the last time I had a soda. I will steal a piece of candy from each one of my kids at Halloween and do that. And yeah, outside of that, I might have sugary stuff 2-3 times a year. Yeah, I just cut all that shit out, man. That shit ain't good for you. Fucks with your body. If your body's not feeling good, your body is telling you that something's wrong. So figure out what the fuck that is and fix it. So my body tells me that I'm tired, and the reason that I'm tired is because I don't drink enough water. I try to drink water, but it also doesn't help because I drink coffee and beer like it's going out of style. I did also, I had to Google this. Apparently there is water in coffee and beers, so. Oh, goodness. All right. That was a wild tangent. That was like a 30-minute tangent. What are you guys doing to me? Redoubt Productions, you disappeared. All right. So this is an absolutely hilarious circumstance. You guys heard it. There's water in almost everything. Yeah, it's news to me, bro. I don't like to drink water. I do drink water though. Oh, I missed out on the Rise Crash Out. It's fine. You can rewind. YouTube lets you rewind. YouTube lets you rewind. We're talking about diet. I don't play chick characters in video games, which turned into me talking about my diet. Is great. Hydrate. It's right here. I am hydrating. Shut up. You're not my mom. All right. So, Splitgate 2. Did you guys watch the Summer Games Fest where the guy from Splitgate 2 came up there with a baseball bat? And it's not booze, it's beer. Okay? Whiskey is booze. There's a very distinct difference. No, you gotta know the difference. There's beer, then there's booze. Booze has a lot more alcohol in it than beer does, okay? The hydrogen monoxide is dangerous. Well, it is used in nuclear plants and oil field work, and the hydrogen monoxide is used in a lot of places that create a lot of hazardous chemicals. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, the Splitgate 2 CEO, so freaking hilarious. This guy gets up there with like a baseball bat and a make FPS like first person shooters great again hat. Talks about how his game, how like he grew up playing Halo 3 or you know, Halo and Titanfall, and he's tired of the same old Call of Duty every year, and he's, you know, and Splitgate 2 is gonna make FPS great again. And then they announced that it's a battle royale. And then the trailer came out that they playing songs from the Imagine Dragons. And everybody my age was like, huh? Because doesn't Imagine Dragons and and fucking fucking battle royale, just speak to your teenager soul when neither of those were around when you were a teenager. And then, like a bitch, he went out and apologized for his Make FPS Great Again hat because it had political implications, because he's a pussy. So anyway, moving on. Oh, it's so good. 1047 Games sends Splitgate 2 back to beta and announces a new round of layoffs. This is the second round of layoffs they've done in like 2 months. This is so funny. Oh, man. Oh, dude, this is so funny, dude. We launched too early, says the developer. Ugh. Have you guys seen that video? Have you guys seen that? I need to pull this up for you guys because this is, dude, this is so funny. If you guys haven't seen this, like, you need to see this. Nope, not the right. Oh, man. All right. Let's do Splitgate 2. Summer Games Fest announcement. This is so, dude, this was horrible. No, that's, I want Splitgate 2, but no. Where's the video? No. No, that's the trailer. I want the whole thing. I want him on stage. Oh, they're not going to show it, are they? It's just a bunch of people's videos, dude. It was so bad. It was so bad. Oh, I can't find the video. Anyway, okay. Well, dude. Absolutely just... I had nothing more to say. It was so bad. Moving on. Good night. Catch you tomorrow. Hey, later, man. Take it easy. Using Imagine Dragon in your 2020s projects tends to be a warning sign. You can dispute with Arcane Season 1, but look what Arcane Season 2 became. It's a warning sign. I never watched Arcane. Oh, man. Excuse me. 1047 announced that its free FPS Splitgate 2 has been pushed back to beta. They unreleased the game. That's a wild one. And the studio will undergo a second wave of layoffs as a result in an ex-post published on July 22nd and signed off by a studio co-founder, Ian Prolux and Nicholas Bagamian. The studio revealed Splitgate 2 is returning to the beta state following player feedback. I will say this. I do respect these guys because after their disastrous announcement and launch, they had to do a round of layoffs, which sucks. But they made a post, and I was going to do a video on this, but I wanted to see how this all evolved. These guys did make a post, and they said that they will no longer be collecting a paycheck so they can keep supporting their staff that they have, which, again, seems like it's not enough right now, so they can get the game where they're going. I do actually highly respect them for that, to say we're not taking a paycheck anymore. We're going to make sure our people get paid. We're here still. Although we had to do some layoffs. I'm like, you know what? Respect. But when you come out and you slam some hardcore shit down, I played Halo and Titanfall. I'm tired of Call of Duty, and we're going to bring FPS back. And then you play Imagine Dragons and you announce a battle fucking royale. And then you apologize like a little baby bitch because your hat had political implications. I hate to say it, but you are the reason that people are losing their jobs. It's because of you. It's your fault. Okay? You're the reason. I know you sent out that message. We're so sorry. We don't want to be losing people. it's because of you. Okay? One, never back down to the mob on the internet, especially for wearing a fucking hat. Okay? Two, if you're going to get up there and speak to a specific audience, maybe you should know what that audience is doing. Maybe, just maybe, you played Halo. Why didn't you try to purchase the rights to use Breaking Benjamin's Blow Me Away, which was the Halo 2 track that was in the OG Halo 2? Put that over the top and then show some badass arena shooter fighting stuff to actually connect with the audience that you were talking to. You're doing rounds of layoffs because you suck as a fucking manager. Says, we've heard your feedback and we agree with you. The co-founders wrote, we had ambitious goals with Splitgate 2, and in our excitement to share it with you, we bit off more than we could chew. So we're going back to beta. We'll be heads down until early next year, rebuilding major parts of the game to capture the spirit of what made Splitgate special. That means reworking progression from the ground up, adding more portals to our maps, simplifying monetization, refocusing on classic game modes you've been asking for, and more, which we'll share soon. Speaking with Polygon. Wow, they spoke with Polygon? God, they must be desperate. Prolux explained that the biggest change the studio wants to make is developing the game alongside the community with a focus on player feedback and play testing. Now more than ever, we need your help, the studio wrote on X. We're returning not just to our roots and what we build, but how we built it with you. That means more playtest, more surveys, more listening to truly being community first. You know what? And if you're going to do it, my hat's off to you. But you came out cocky and arrogant, and it's cost your employees their jobs and their livelihoods. I'm not going to lie. When you were like, Halo, Titanfall, I want real shooters again, I was like, hell yeah. And then that trailer dropped. Dude, he had me hyped for what he was saying. Came up there with some real energy, dude. He was a great, and then the trailer played and it was just like, ugh. You know that meme of the Pepe the Frog just screaming that, ah! Yeah, it went from, damn, this guy knows what I want to see in a video game, and then did not know what he wanted to see in a video game at all. It was bad. I remember watching that, and I was just like, this isn't good. And not only that, I think just the day and age for the arena shooter, like Halo, is over. Not to say it won't come back, because trends always come back around. Like, there will be a day where the arena shooter takes over everything again. But right now, it really is the Battle Royale scene with a lot of games. I think that is dying off. Arena shooters will come back because they are fun, and arena shooters really put they put you to the test. I remember how competitive Halo 2 was, and thank God I was like 13, 14 at the time, and I had time to play it because I never got rank 50. Never got rank 50. I was ranked, the highest rank I got in Team Slayer was 49. Lost a match, got knocked promptly back down to 47. That sucked. And then I think the highest rank in just regular Slayer, just free-for-all Slayer, I think I was upper 30s. I don't think I was ever able to crack the 40s just running solo. But yeah, this is just a different time back then. And again, this whole situation is their fault. They came out, their marketing was horribly off to the people that they were trying to talk to. And although I do respect the CEOs, the people who run the company, not taking a paycheck to support the people who are still there, they have catastrophically fucked up so much. And again, it's like, okay, I get a little bit of respect for him, but I lost more respect for the guy after that really horrible announcement. And then also, again, when he apologized for his hat. And I got a little bit back when they sacrificed their paychecks. Like, that's a big move. But also, it's everything that came before. Your company is suffering right now because of you. And then when you find out how much it costs to actually do that presentation at Summer Games Fest, that's like multiple hundreds of thousands of dollars. And you botched it. And then on top of that, I've heard Splitgate 2 just... My wife's played it a little bit. She's like, it's okay. She's like, it's not... She's like, it's different. It's not the greatest, but it's, you know, it's a game. The amount of times I've had to cover for incompetent manager gives me headaches. Thankfully, I've not ever had to do that. I've actually... All of the managers that I've had in my adult life have all been actually super good and taught me very well. So... Oh. I did not properly prepare for tonight because I was thinking that people were going to drop some videos in the Discord. Well, also, I think Mondays and Thursdays. I like Mondays and Thursdays for some weird reason. I'm going to try to stream on Mondays. Mondays, I really like Mondays. Thursdays, I'm going to stream. I was waiting to see if anybody was going to drop some videos to react to in you never worked at Popeyes. I did not work at Popeyes, no. I have never had a fast food job. I worked at restaurants. I worked at IHOP. I take that back. I did work at a Subway. But yeah, I was preparing the stream to have a couple of news stories to cover, a couple of, videos to kind of watch. And also a couple of videos to react to, but I didn't see anybody post anything in the Discord for me to react to, so I just didn't have those, so I thought this was going to go a lot longer. But I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of out. I did not properly prepare, and this tells me that I need to over-prepare for Monday. And also start advertising to people in the Discord of when I stream. Because this was also a surprise stream too, but I may actually cut it here because it's a little bit shorter than Monday, but I want to make sure that I get this dialed in because this is a new format of streaming for me and I'm not quite there yet. But all of that, I've seen things you people won't believe. No, I would believe it. I've seen some crazy shit. I've seen crazy shit as a customer in fast food restaurants. As a customer. I didn't even work there. Although, one of the funniest stories that I know from a fast food restaurant is Sum 41 released... Oh God, what album was it? It was the last song of the album had a hidden track. Like it would just keep going, and then there was this hidden track on there, and the hidden track was entirely in French. And it was some dirty-ass song that Sum 41 did. My buddy learned French in high school, knows how to speak it fluently. And he's sitting there as the manager of a Taco Bell, singing this horribly dirty, offensive song in French. And a lady walks into, in the middle of Colorado, his Taco Bell, hears him singing that song, and then starts yelling at him in French. How could he possibly be singing that in front of people like it's normal? And my buddy was like, nobody knows French. How the fuck do you know French? It's the greatest story ever. It happened to him one other time. Some bum came up to him. He was he was at a concert, but he wanted to get some water, but he wasn't gonna. This is America, lady. I know, right? This is a Taco Bell, ma'am. My buddy was at a concert. The same buddy. He just wants to get some water, and it's not like a big concert. It's a small venue. So he's just going to go down the street to the gas station, grab a water, because he's not going to pay. I think it was like, they wanted like $5 a bottle of water or something. This was back in the day. It was stupid expensive. He was like, I wasn't going to pay that. So he's like, I went, got $1 bottle of water to, and walking back to get back in the show. And this He's like, this bum comes up to me asking me for money. And he's like, I didn't have a lot of money on me and I didn't want to give my money to a bum. So my buddy tells the guy in French that he doesn't speak English. He doesn't know what he's saying. And he's like, the bum starts speaking French back to me. My buddy has the worst luck with that shit. It's so great. It's so great. I'll never forget those stories. I'm like, how do you do this? How do you find these people? He's like, I don't know. So good. So good. All that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to call it quits here for tonight. And I'm going to advertise Mondays and Thursdays. Does Thursdays work for people? I think Thursdays should work. Maybe not. I need to get back into the swing of it, though. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for being here tonight. I'm tired. I also need to get my streaming stamina back up so I can actually stream for 2 hours again. Ugh. How did I do it before? I was younger. I was younger just a year ago, which is true. Oh, man. Also, if you guys are in the Discord, please find videos that are like, that have been made within the last month or like 2 weeks, realistically. And share those there, and we can react to them as a community. Because I've had some people doing that lately, and it's super fucking fun. Because you guys find some wild stuff for me to react to, and I never thought I would be into that, and I'm into it. We're gonna leave that conversation there and not go any further, okay? But thank you all so much. Thank you all so much for tuning into A Drink with Crazy. And until next time, cheers, everybody.